Welcome to episode 1 of the Resilient Space podcast. Thank you for being here, my friend. I'm so glad you clicked on the video to watch it. And thank you for being with us on this first episode. I'm grateful to you. And today's episode, we're going to be talking about something really exciting. But before we get started, I just want to say thank God for His strength. And I just want to genuinely thank all my friends and thank everyone who has supported this journey. My name is Hefsiba Emerili. And if you're new here, you are in the right space, because the Resilient Space podcast is a place where we talk about everything resilient, how to rebuild after a difficult season and after life has, just shown us different spaces and just different phases that we were not planning for. In today's episode, we're going to talk about what does it mean to be on a journey? What does it mean to understand that your story is not over? You've heard this a number of times, but how can we really break it down? Like, Hefsiba, someone is asking, Hefsiba, you're not in my life right now, so what are you talking about? You are in the right space. We're just going to be exploring different themes of delays, different themes on disappointment, and different themes on waiting. Yeah, so let's go straight into today's episode. How many of you have been through life and you're going through life with questions on your mind? You're going through life feeling like you have been forgotten. You're going through life asking yourself, how did I get here? Someone will say, you know how you got here. But genuinely, there are times where we can't explicitly say how we got here. I've been in that season multiple times. And you're not the only person who probably is going through a dark season. There's so many people that go through dark seasons. Some of them don't talk about it. Some of them wait till the season is over. Some of them just don't even want to share it at all and just show the good side. But I've learned what it means sometimes to be vulnerable in the good way, in the right space and to the right people, and how you can learn through that journey, and of course trusting God to help you through it. Understanding that your story is not over, first of all, requires surrender. That's the first thing we're going to talk about. And you probably are wondering, Hefsiba, what do you mean by surrender? Yes, surrender is important. In the intro episode, I don't know if you've not watched that video, you need to watch it, and probably the link will be down below somewhere on this video for you to watch the intro podcast. I shared how my life did not start with everything being all rosy. I didn't know I was going to end up in Ghana. I didn't know I was going to end up in the United Kingdom. So it all started with just trying to survive. I grew up in Nigeria in a rural community. I have 4 brothers. I was born to a family of 7. So my mom, my dad, and we're 5 children. So we're 7 of us. And we were not born with a silver spoon. We were not born into a wealthy family. I wasn't born. And my brothers had the same experience. I'm the only girl. Okay. In Nigerian society, you can call me Ada because I'm Igbo by tribe, which means the only girl, the first daughter of the family. So you can call me an Ada. But beyond that, I saw how hardworking my mom was. I'm very close to my mom because, of course, she's the only girl. So we're close friends. And I saw how many times she just would always use this word, I surrender to God. Like, let God take control. Like, well, God knows tomorrow. Probably if you grew up in African society, you know that a lot of our parents are very spiritual and religious because they just put their confidence and trust in God, and they pass it down to their children as well. And I've seen that pay off multiple times in my life. And over time growing up, so I left my parents at the age of 17 and went to Ghana for school. I got a scholarship to study at Ashesi University. So I'm an Ashesi alum. For people who know Ghana or know Ashesi University. And I studied computer science. But I just don't want to speak so quickly. I didn't want to study computer science. I thought I was going to be a medical doctor. Yes! Like, I went to school. My high school was in Nigeria. I was a top student, but I did the biology, the physics, the chemistry. I don't know if anyone did any other subjects. I did all of those subjects. And I was very certain that I was going to be a medical doctor. In fact, I had watched and read the book Gifted Hands by the famous Ben Carson. And so I was like, I'm going to be a surgeon, going to be a surgeon. I believe I have some of my brothers and sisters who also thought that. But God had a different plan, and I had to surrender to that plan. So that's the first thing. When you understand that you're going through a difficult season that is really hard, that like, God, I don't understand why I'm going through this. I want to tell you, first of all, to surrender. Surrender. And surrender does not mean don't do anything. Surrender means allowing God to guide you, especially if you're a person of faith, allowing Him to lead the journey. The next thing I want to talk about in your story not being over is disappointment, delay, denial, the heartbreak, the bad season is a phase. So the second point is disappointment is a phase. I don't know any successful person in the world today, the billionaires, the trillionaires, the successful influencers, the businessmen, the tycoons in industry, the names that resound, people in the faith industry, in the Christian circle, or even people who are not even Christians, or probably a different religion, people who have been very successful, the Mahatma Gandhis, the late Dr. Miles Moore, the Bill Gates, the Steve Jobs, whether they're still alive today or not, one thing they have gone through is disappointment. Genuinely, you can read their autobiographies, you can listen to their podcasts, you can listen to their talks. They have gone through that. Something that did not work out, a business that failed, a product that failed, but they still kept going. And that's why I'm here to tell you and just remind you, because I believe you know this, that disappointment is a phase. Yours may be peculiar to your culture, your country, your circumstance, your background, your race, but it's a phase, and it would surely pass. The third thing I want us to explore and talk about in your story not being over is your story is not over. The third thing is your life is unfolding. Your life is unfolding. I just shared a bit about how I moved from Nigeria to Ghana. In fact, I feel like I should have a different episode on that, genuinely. I thought my life was over. I was moving to a new country. I was moving to different space. Like, I didn't have any family member there. I only knew that I had a scholarship and I was going to a new community and I was going to school. Imagine a young girl being so driven. My mom, I told my mom first and my dad later. But they were like, okay, go, we believe you, we trust you, like, we know you can do this. Okay. So they allowed me to go. And I went. And it was just, I told my dad, we had a conversation. My dad was like, would you want to come back to do medicine sometime in your life? I'm like, Dad, let me just finish my 4 years, because my program was a 4-year program and it was really great, like straight, no strikes. For those in Nigeria, no strikes. It was just very straight. And he was like, would you want to become a medical doctor again? And I'm like, Daddy, chill. I didn't say Daddy, chill. But I'm like, I'm going to think about it. When I'm done with my computer science program, I would maybe do medicine. But man, I am not doing medicine today. I'm doing something different. But that was it. That was it for me. I went, just opened up myself to the experience in Ghana. I just had to immerse myself in the culture as well. And it was a beautiful journey. Not without disappointment, not without low moments, but a journey where I had to learn, embrace the highs and the lows, and grow. The reason why I say your story is not over is the understanding that you are growing. You are being stretched. Genuinely, you're being stretched. Yes, it may not look like what you want or what you require, but you are genuinely being stretched. And it's going to work out for your good as long as you surrender. You know that disappointment is a phase. And the third thing, you know that your journey is still unfolding. I try to keep each episode very short and straight to the point, just to make good use of your time. But these are things I want you to think about. Of course, we can explore so many things. We can explore different ways about your story not being over. But like I said, the Resilience Space podcast, probably you're just on the train, you just want to listen to something that would boost your energy, something that would give you perspective to the season you're on, making it short, straight to the point, interesting, fun. That's why we're here. And let me know where you're tuning in from. Put it in the comment section. Let me know what stood out to you. Let me know if you have any questions. And as we go through other episodes, we are going to be exploring those. But for now, thank you very much for listening to the first episode of the Resilience Space podcast, where I talked about your story is not over. Go out and be stronger today. Go out and appreciate that journey, because it's going to pass, and by the time it passes, you'll be talking about it in hindsight and like, oh, I used to do this, and you would have seen how much you have grown and how you have been stretched and how much wisdom you would gain, because sometimes life just has a way of teaching us so many things. I'm your girl Hefsiba Emerili, and this is episode 1, revised, revamped of the Resilience Space podcast. I'll see you on our next episode. Thank you for listening. Thank you for spending time with me on this episode of the Resilience